I think in my time in office, you can tell I've got a commitment to community colleges. Bernie, Jody, the MAC staff have been in my office trying to figure out a way that we could get the funding for the K formula, that we could get more money into community colleges, that we could actually increase the capital budget. I've been there to work on programmatic changes with Dr. Kurtnitis, Dr. Hetherington, Dr. Pollard, Dr. Hoyt, Dr. Dukes. I mean, we've been there working on getting improvements for our community colleges. Higher education will be a priority. Education will be my priority. Now I gotta tell you, it is a question of money and a question of priorities. You're always going to see me put $1 into education. The relationship between our community colleges and our K-12 system is going to be critical as we go into this new world of a post-Kerwin Commission set of recommendations and how we transform our education system. It is, as I said before, fundamental to how I'm running. Now, I do think it's important to have someone with the background in order to get these things done, who has experience of working through these issues. Alec, it's not a $40 billion budget, it's a $17 billion budget. We can't just transfer money that we get from the federal government for Medicaid and pay for community colleges. You gotta know what money you have available to you to put into those priorities. And that's why you need someone with the state experience to get things done. That's why you need someone with my unique qualifications to move us forward to get real progress on making sure community colleges are free, making sure that we have free access to job training and certificate programs. We made that down payment in a bill last year with Senator Klausmeier, and we're going to continue that along this year and through a Madaleno administration.
Thank you. Ms. Vignarajah.
Well, it's this question of how many candidates does it take to turn a microphone on? Our candidates, so it works out well. The numbers play in our favor. I will tell you that it is obviously a matter of who has the vision and the experience to get it done. But it is also a matter of who has the personal understanding of what community college means to Marylanders. And so for me, you know, I think like everyone else on this panel, education is by far the top priority. Because as I said, I know that for so many kids, it is the same pathway that was true for my family, which is we grew up in a basement apartment where we were living off my father's paycheck. $20 is how much we had each week for food. And it was education that gave us an opportunity to make something. And I think that right now, oftentimes as you have this conversation, people put education in a separate bucket from economic opportunity. And the reality is that in Maryland, education is pivotal in so many respects. Education is pivotal because your colleges give nearly $700 million of economic growth and benefit to the state. It is pivotal because nearly 500,000 Marylanders are enrolled in community colleges. And so what that means is that we need to fully fund community college, not just because it is our moral responsibility, but because it is our economic development strategy. Because it is our way to make sure that every Marylander has access to the middle class. Because if we don't, what ends up happening is people get left behind. And so what I want to make sure is that we're not talking about 500,000 Marylanders who are enrolled in community college. I want to make sure we double that. Because I will tell you time and time again, my father and my mother would come back after school and they would say to me, the problem with our school system is we assume that every kid has to go to a four-year college. We know that's not true. And right now, what community colleges provide is access to the jobs that are available. And so when we talk about education and whether that's a priority, what we need to recast the conversation to be about is education and economic growth the most important priorities in Maryland? And no Democrat and no Republican can answer that question in the negative.
Thank you. The third question. In addition to serving freshmen and sophomores who seek degrees, community colleges also offer certificates and training and job skills for workforce development. Would you, as governor, plan to include community colleges in your economic development strategy? Mr. Shea.
Thank you. The answer is yes. I have an economic development strategy that we will publish in a matter of weeks, and vocational training and community colleges play a very significant role in that. I told you in the description of my bio that I have deep ties in the education world and that I have deep ties in the business world. What I will do is I will challenge both groups, particularly the business group, to step forward and make sure that we are completely aligned so that the community colleges have the resources and the programs to train and teach the students with the skills that they need for the jobs that are actually there. This is an alignment, a collaborative process that needs to take place. I know it takes place to some extent, but needs to be dramatically improved. And when we're talking about funding, we have programs in the Empowerment Zone, and UMUC has a program in one of its subsidiaries to have the ultimate employer set parameters for the curriculum. That's fine. They ultimately get good, skilled workers from that. Shouldn't they also participate in the cost of that? I think so. I think that's part of the solution of the funding challenge we've got. This is a collaborative, cooperative situation where businesses benefit, you teach well, and the economy flourishes. When you do that, you increase your general revenue in ways that affect and improve every aspect of government, but particularly should go back into the community colleges that have spurned it all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Baker.
Well, I'm very pleased over the last 7 years working with our community college. Not only have we combined with our workforce development and understanding, as Chris said, that it is part of our economic development. I'll give you a couple of examples. One is when we brought in MGM to Prince George's County, the connection of training the employees that are going to go in there came from the community college. As we build out hotels, and we're very proud of the fact that Prince George's County is leading the state in job creation. The reason we're able to do that is because of our work with our community colleges and our four-year colleges. But one of the things I'm most proud about is that we understand that we not only need to provide our young people with summer jobs, we need to start them on a career. And so by working in our Youth Career Connect with our community college, we went from 300 students we were offering job opportunities and introduction to 3,000. This is where you combine the road between what you're doing at your community colleges for our retraining, but also for our young people in creating jobs and opportunities for them. And lastly, I was sitting in a crime briefing this morning, and our police chief was very pleased with the fact that our cadets are coming through the community college. And it's a program that, quite honestly, many people did not think would work. And he was very proud of the fact that the next group of young people, men and women, who will be protecting Prince George's County are coming through that. We can do that all around. And as governor, I will make it a priority, as I have as county executive.
Thank you. Mr. Jealous.
Yes. I think all of us will agree that our community colleges are vital to the future of our state, and that we have to choose the path of creating a better educated workforce as our primary means for attracting bigger and better companies here. What I know from my work in the Silicon Valley, what I know from my work with startups in Baltimore, is that we've got to start doing things a little differently. Most startups and big tech companies, they hire a programmer, still hire somebody with a master's degree. Sure, there's more boot camps coming online, but you talk to the folks who, like, say, supervise 1,500 programmers. You ask them, why do you go for that person with a master's degree? And they say, really, we go for them because that master's degree gives them 2 years of specialized training in the programming that we need. He said if the community colleges would work with us, if the state governments would work with us, we could do the same thing at community colleges. In the Valley, there's a 600,000 programmer shortage. In Baltimore, our startups have a hard time finding programmers too. Students I mentor at Johns Hopkins often fly out to the Valley to fill that giant sucking stone. Well, we should be seeking to move more companies here to actually build expansion campuses here Because we can solve two problems for them. Did you see the movie Hidden Figures? 30 black women who helped put a man on the moon? Well, our state's kind of like a hidden state. Prince George's County alone has 17 times more black programmers than Santa Clara Valley, the heart of the Silicon Valley. In other words, they can solve two problems at once by coming here. And our community colleges should be at the heart of that strategy.
Thank you. Mr. Ross.
So we have a strange barbelled economy in Maryland. We have lots of knowledge workers. Lots of people who go to work wearing a white shirt and a yellow tie. And then we have a lot of people working at or around minimum wage. We have a thin middle. We have too few people in the skilled trades. We have labor deficits across industries, from the life sciences to cybersecurity, where we have 20,000 openings. I agree with my colleagues that experience matters. And where I actually have experience, it's funny, before we got started, Jenna Collins is here from Apple. She came up to me, she goes, "It's Alec Ross from One Economy." And at One Economy, what I did is I had a nonprofit, and what we actually did is we did technology skills development that helped 10,000 young people from low-income communities get jobs with an average starting salary of $60,000. So for me, job creation isn't a hypothetical based on a theoretical based on a maybe. I actually have a track record doing that work. I also helped establish programs at the beginning of the Obama administration. I was in charge of setting up about $35 billion worth of the Economic Recovery Act programs to help get people who are most vulnerable back into jobs. So I'm really proud of my track record, both inside government and outside government, with really concrete results bringing people into jobs. And if the community colleges are the platform for our ability to do that here in Maryland. One last stat. The state budget in Maryland is north of $40 billion. The state-supported budget is $17.7 billion. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kamenetz.
In 2010, when I became county executive, I decided to address the issue of economic development in a different way. We took our Office of Workforce Development and merged it into our Department of Economic Development, now known as Department of Economic and Workforce Development, or DOOD. And DOOD allows us to partner with our community college to create in an innovative way a job training structure to service our existing large employers and help them grow. So Governor Hogan, in the paper today I read, proposes to give a $5 billion check, so to speak, to Amazon to locate in Montgomery County. That's his way of promoting economic development. But I gotta tell you, that $5 billion is gonna come out of somewhere. It's gonna mortgage our future. It's not going to be able to be used to help the Community College of Baltimore County or any of the other 16 colleges here. We think that by using job creation through training, it helps grow, and that's helped us retain the headquarters sites of McCormick Spice and Care First and Toyota Financial and T. Rowe Price. But we've also worked closely understanding the economic value of our community college. We leveraged a $24 million construction of a new community college campus and library in Owings Mills into an $800 million private investment for our Metro Center transit-oriented development. I will tell you just quickly here that I think what we need to do is make workforce development our economic development tool in the state of Maryland by using our great resources of the 16 colleges. But in addition, I love your idea of your Work Smart initiative, where you are to work closely with, hopefully, with the State Department of Economic Development in attracting and retaining businesses. I commit to you full support for that project.
Thank you. Mr. Madalena.
Thank you. So last year in the bill that we moved forward in the Senate called the More Jobs for Marylanders Act, we actually put in a provision in that bill that first said we would pay to create a program so that young people graduating high school could get a job training certificate, a job skills certification from a community college free of charge. Now, unfortunately, the deal we were able to work with the Hogan administration was just the first $1 million, but we're gonna keep coming back and pushing that to make sure every young person realizes they've got a free track. Second, while the governor wanted to give money out to corporations in sort of classic corporate welfare style, we switched that plan to say, we'll give you a tax credit, we'll give businesses a tax credit based upon the amount of money they're paying their employees. As long as each one of those employees has a certified job training plan. Who are they gonna get that job training through? The community colleges. That's who the overall businesses around our state partner with. That's the type of robust relationship we have to create between employers and our community colleges. We've made progress over years. This is nothing new in Maryland. We've made progress over years to do this. We have to find new ways to get more people engaged and more businesses to see what incredible assets we have. As an aside, I have to say, I hope everyone here has had a chance to go to the Fab Lab at the Catonsville campus of the CCBC. Yes, Baltimore County. I mean, it is an amazing facility. It is an amazing facility. But it's the type of that whole building, the type of programs that they're providing that give young people a vision for how they can support themselves and their families. There are lots of great jobs that are going unfilled in our state that pay family supporting wages if you have that job training and you get that through a community college. That's why it's going to be central to any economic development strategy we do, and that's what my record has been.
Thank you. Ms. Bignarani.
I will try to keep this short because I think that you have heard a lot of violent agreement on this issue. I think we all agree that, community colleges are a 100% part of any workforce development strategy. And so for me, it is a core pillar of my strategy in terms of creating 250,000 jobs over the first 4 years of my administration. We can do it in Maryland, but the sad reality is that much of our economy right now relies on federal sector jobs. And the reality is that instead of using government jobs to supplement what we're doing in the private sector, we're allowing them to be a substitute. And what I want to see is that given our economy, given the global changes that are affecting us here in the state, but likewise the fact that many of the jobs that we and our parents do are evolving in many ways, the specialized training that Ben talked about, that is exactly what community colleges offer. And that's why I want to make sure that programs like WorkSmart, we grow. I think the perfect example, I know there are many out there, but Harvard Community Colleges, the WorkSmart response team, is how we need to be aggressive and proactive. Community colleges do need to be the front lines in terms of being responsive, being that intermediary between kids who want to go and get these jobs and employers who are dying for the employees who are actually trained in the skills that they need for those opportunities. And that's where each of our counties need to have a tailored, whether it is Baltimore County first, Hartford County first, but a way in which we are actually making it the easiest thing to do to actually be able to hire our kids.
Thank you.